Welcome, 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 Africa. Welcome to a very cool edition of Titans and Trailblazers. Today I'm speaking to a digital marketing behemoth. You know, the whole world is digital now. So please, today, don't go anywhere. Get some popcorn. No, popcorn is carbohydrate. Get some Coke Zero and come back again and join us for more of Titans and Trailblazers. We'll be right back.
MGL Logistics and Supply is your trusted partner, providing seamless solutions for all your procurement needs. From sourcing products to managing imports and exports, we ensure smooth and efficient transactions every step of the way. Whether you require goods from across the globe or need assistance in exporting your products to international markets, we got you covered. General trading is at the heart of our expertise. We specialize in a wide range of products, catering to various industries and markets. As a trusted dealership in building materials, we provide high-quality products that meet the demands of our construction projects. Additionally, we act as manufacturers' representatives, connecting producers with distributors. Our expertise in logistics is the backbone of our operations. We plan and execute transportation and delivery of goods, ensuring they reach their destination on time and in optimal condition. MGO Logistics and Supply, guaranteed satisfaction.
I'm a brand manager. Of course, I accept only quality and affordable printed souvenirs for my promotional campaigns.
I'm the head of academic affairs of a very important institution in Ghana. Of course, we only deal with quality, reliable printing companies for our institution's printing materials. I'm talking about appointed time printing.
Appointed Time Printings. We take pride in our extensive print scope that transform your ideas into captivating visual masterpieces. We delve into the core objectives and vision of each print project. Precision printing is at the heart of our printing process as we meet your tight deadlines. Our rigorous inspection, color verification, and overall printing excellence are assured. 20 years of printing excellence. It's always a pleasure working with you to create a vibrant, dazzling printing experience that gives you a masterpiece. Appointed Time Printing, your world of quality and affordable printing.
Welcome back from the break, and gives me the utmost pleasure to introduce my guest for today. My guest is from a little down under compared to where we are in West Africa, and he's an astute digital marketing guy. Titans team, please welcome Tyrai to the show. Sir, you're welcome.
Thank you, sir. Glad to be here.
It's particularly good to have you. So tell me, why does digital matter so much now? Why does digital matter so much? Digital, that word, digital. Why does it matter so much?
It's amazing that you can't go for 5 minutes or 10 minutes without the word digital or AI. It's it's on everyone's lips right now. Things have changed fundamentally, and the use of internet or the internet penetration in Africa has been on the rise over the past years. So it goes with the word digital.
But you see, the problem is that sometimes when people say digital, then they leave their brain at home. And so I still believe strategy matters even if you are digital. What do you think?
Definitely, there is a bit of misconception when you talk of digital, when you talk of ICT, and now we have got AI. Those three words, rather, somehow they are used interchangeably. And we really have to help people understand that they are not the same.
So even with AI, don't you need clear strategy even around how you intend to deploy the AI, to what end you want to deploy it for, in what functional areas you want to deploy it in. Does AI solve all problems without strategy?
Definitely not. Now, AI can be a good tool, but behind it, there should be a strategy. Having too many tools at your disposal, they may actually affect the outcome. The core of it is the strategy.
Okay. So tell us about yourself. Where were you born? Where did you go to school? Were you happy in school? Did you have some difficult teachers? What were your early influences? What has shaped you into what you are today, sir? Tell us about yourself.
I was born from average parents. Rather, I was raised by my mom. I lost my dad when I was 3 months old. So my entire life, I was raised by a single mom.
Wow.
Did my primary education and secondary education as a high flying student. I was, of course, a head boy in my secondary education. So I did my tertiary education here in Zimbabwe at one of the local universities, Midland State University. Unfortunately, I couldn't finish. I only did like 3 semesters.
Why?
And
Are you Bill Gates?
unfortunately, the finances did not permit for me to complete my first degree.
Okay.
So I found myself relocating to Namibia at an early age, I think around 19. So yeah, my uncle was working there. Then he said, "No, you are sharp in mathematics. I think come this side, let's see what to do." Then I relocated to Namibia, worked as a mathematics and statistics teacher, then enrolled back into tertiary education, managed to complete 2 degrees in Namibia.
Wow. 2 undergraduate degrees or an undergrad and a master's degree?
I got 2 undergraduate degrees.
Wow.
Then I only got my master's back here in Zimbabwe in 2021. That's when I enrolled for a master's degree in digital marketing from Bindura University here in Zimbabwe.
Okay, all right. So what inspired you to pursue your current path? And how has the vision evolved along the way? From the Namibia degree, where did you go through? Did you go through an agency? Did you work with your friend? What has been your journey?
So I made a drastic turn because my first degree in Namibia was in accounting and finance. Okay. Then after that, I did business management. Then come 2017, I was fortunate to have visited China. So when I went to China, I saw the lights, I saw the digital advertising. I was inspired by how they do their marketing there across China. So when I came back, I was really motivated to go the digital route. I looked around for a course and I found one at the University of Cape Town. So in 2019, I enrolled for a digital marketing course with the University of Cape Town, and it changed everything for me. From after that, that's when I felt like Namibia, I've stayed for too long, I think around 14 years. Said, okay, let me go back home and make a difference. Came back to Zimbabwe 2020, enrolled for a master's in digital marketing, completed it, and Mr. Digital was born.
Mr. Digital, okay. So was the UCT degree the turning point in your career, or is something else the turning point in your career? Because you dabbled in mathematics, did some accounting, then was it the China trip? What was the pivotal? Are you a Christian? You know the Saul and the Paul story on the Damascus road. What was your Damascus movement, sir?
I think that the trip to China was my turning point.
Okay. So who have been some of your biggest mentors or influencers in life? Who have you looked up to?
So I think back in 2015, somehow I had so much interest with 5G. I was following the developments in the West, the European world, and in America when 5G was the talk of the moment. So back then it was Twitter. So I used to spend a lot of time on Twitter back then, following the top 100 digital influencers and digital transformation gurus. and I was following them, like their posts, the updates of 5G, the dangers of 5G. Then that was 2015 up to 2017 when I then went to China. Then everything just changed.
Okay, so now you run digital marketing house, correct?
That's correct.
So is that like a digital marketing agency?
Yes. So it was we formed it in 2023 together with my colleague. That's when I also tendered my resignation, where I was working as a digital marketing manager for 3 years. It was a leading car rental company in the country. So I was at the helm of digital marketing for 3 years. Then something in me told me that I think I love teaching, I love exploring, I love bringing results. Then I say, why not formulate digital marketing house?
So what are some of your product offerings? What services do you give? What industries do you work in? And what's your own CV like in respect of digital marketing projects you've undertaken?
So we are quite diverse. We work with associates, not only stationed here in Zimbabwe, but we have got associates from across the globe: Australia, South Africa, the United States, and the UK. So we do web development. We have developed quite a number of websites from local here in Zimbabwe, some in the UK. We also do paid ads. Like this digital marketing thing is a big it's a big animal whereby a lot of people associate it with social media marketing only. But we chose to lean towards Google advertising, or what are called Google ads. So we've run different campaigns for different companies in the financial services, banks. We have done some work for the government. We've done the private SMEs. So we've taken through those campaigns on digital, on SEO, and of course, social media management, where everyone spends time on.
So you've done public sector work, private sector work, and you work for small and medium enterprises, right?
Correct.
Okay. So with digital marketing, it's very easy to set KPIs, build dashboards, measure ROI, and then give clear reports on marketing investments. So give me one or
That's
two
correct.
campaigns you've run. Tell us about the kind of KPIs you had, how you deploy the campaign, and what some of the results were.
I think one of the campaigns we did was for one bank. I will not name the bank, but they had a back to school campaign. So you know how it is like with people budgeting and planning. Even if you know that the school is opening on the 5th of January, somehow when the day comes, the fees are not in order for some.
Yes, that's
so
true.
so the bank wanted to push people to get loans through Google Ads. So we executed that campaign very well. The KPIs were the sign-ups. We wanted the people to come and borrow. They are called salary-based loans. So we did that. So we had a combination of display ads, we had search ads, and a video ad. So that combination, we ran that, I think, for about 2 months. Yeah. Then prior to the school opening and up to, I think, about 2 weeks into the new semester or into the new term, then parents, they were coming and borrowing. So I think that campaign was okay on our side.
It was successful.
Yes, correct.
So, in your opinion, how has digital marketing changed brand building in Africa or in Zimbabwe?
I think as leaders, each and every person carries a brand. It's unfortunate that some people may not know it or may not have activated it yet. So almost everyone has got some form of brand equity, but how much is your brand worth? It depends on the efforts that you make. So back in the days, the leaders were carried through traditional media, our daily newspapers, our radio, our national television, but things have so changed. Your brand is your currency. So each and every person should know and evaluate their brands and say, who am I? What does it mean to say Tarirai? If someone goes online and search for my name, what is the output? You should be worried about that narrative. So the media which is out there, it's different, and you contribute to shape what your brand looks like online.
Well, but people still argue that digital alone is not always the desirable route, and sometimes you still need a combination of brick and mortar and digital in order to have a 360-degree campaign. What are your thoughts?
I totally agree. For 360, you can't do above the line only or below the line only. There is need for a balance. And this, again, depends on the type of product, on the type of audience, or on the type of customers you are looking for. There are some products, we have got different types of businesses. We've got B2B, business to business, we've got B2C. So in most cases, the mass market, which is the B2C, the traditional marketing methods usually work better because you've got people as far as some corners of the country, some corners of the region, whereby maybe internet penetration is not yet there. So those people rely on SMS. Those people rely on radio. Those people as well, they cannot access sometimes the television. So definitely there is need for a balance between digital and traditional marketing.
Well, okay, so storytelling has changed since digital arrived, because these days you may not need a big Coca-Cola billboard maybe in a city 4 hours from the capital. But with your phone and with the right internet connection, you can access a 30-second Coca-Cola ad and want to buy Coca-Cola in some remote parts of the country. So can you tell us, first of all, what digital marketing is? And number two, exactly the role digital marketing is playing in storytelling today.
Okay, so in simple, digital marketing is a way is a way whereby people, businesses promote and showcase their products and services online, right? And storytelling did not start today. Growing up, I think kids who were raised by grandmothers used to be better storytellers than people who were raised by their young parents, because our grannies knew how to entertain us, because there was no television, there was no radio, so they were the storytellers, they were the form and source of entertainment. So we are simply transferring whatever we used to do into digital platforms. We are simply rewriting perhaps the same old stories that were told by our grannies. We're just repackaging it and put visuals on them. So billboards, they don't trigger conversations, but digital platforms, they're the source of conversation. There is a two-way communication. You say this, someone adds their opinion. So storytelling is a backbone, actually, of digital marketing. You can sell easily through entertainment, through laughter, through triggering emotions. So the combination of storytelling feeds very well into digital marketing.
Some of the biggest brands in the world today in a digital first world thrive on what we call user-generated content. So how is user-generated content important to you in the work you do for your clients?
So UGC, user-generated content, is one of it's kind of earned media, because we've got different types of media: owned, what you say to the people and what other people say to you because of what you have done, then you have earned it. UGC, you are not buying for reviews. So UGC, someone comes, for instance, to a hotel and they are happy. They take their smartphones, they take their videos, then they can go to the Google business profile, then they'll post. Or it's a Safari, you offer that service, they take pictures, they create content for their own consumption, but you find that content being posted on social media. That's an endorsement whereby someone is happy, someone is not pushed to post. It's organic. They are simply happy and they are putting a recommendation to your services or a product. So I value UGC the most.
Yeah, but the thing is that the biggest brands in the world, like your Nikes and your Coca-Cola, they are brilliant at generating UGC. Brilliant. So how can African brands develop their capacity to generate positive and useful user-generated content?
I think the pride comes with the brand. The brands we are mentioning, I think the Nikes, the Adidas, all the other expensive brands, let's say from Italy and so forth. Growing up, it's everyone like when your financial level improves, you'd want to put your hands on some of those brands.
Absolutely.
So also locally, we have had some successful brands. I think here in Zimbabwe, there's some Faithwear. It's a brand locally made. The t-shirts, they are good. Religious are driven and stuff. And I think people have adapted to that brand so well. But of late, most of the new brands which are which entrepreneurs are trying to push, people, they tend to ignore those local brands, perhaps because they know the owner. Maybe for those brands like Nike and so forth, the fact that we don't know the owner, somehow we find comfort in doing that. But the moment we actually know the owner, there is a bit of sabotage or there's a bit of resistance in people adopting a clothing label from their own.
You know, I'm really surprised you went there because a few days ago I saw a post on LinkedIn that said that when you take Virgin Atlantic and they have X followers, for instance, on LinkedIn, Richard Branson has X times 2. When you take a Tim Cook and they have X regarding the companies they lead, their personal brand has probably X times 2 on their own CEO brand platforms, whether it's Amazon or Twitter or whatever. And so the person was making the argument that these days, the quality of CEO brands matters. Sometimes even over and above the corporate brand, because if the CEO brands are vibrant, attractive, and growing, then it has a positive impact on the corporate brands they lead. What is your take on this in a digital-first world?
So, one thing for sure, people connect with people. People don't connect with pages.
Absolutely.
I will give you an example of Strive Masiwa.
Yes,
so Strive Masiwa founded Econet. If you go on LinkedIn right now, the last time I checked, he was over 230 connections. Strive Masiwa as a person. But Econet was trailing behind, I think, around 160 or 68,000, if not mistaken. So it's twice less or 3 times less the founder. You mentioned the issue of storytelling later. The corporate can't bring in the storytelling aspect very well, but the leader can bring in the storytelling, can bring in the personal stories that we can relate to. We can learn more from Richard Branson than from Virgin Active itself. That story of Virgin Active, how it was formed, we listen it better if it's said by the man himself instead of us following it from the corporate page. So definitely the CEOs, the leaders, they've got more influence than the corporate brands they own.
Well, it's interesting you say that because You believe in it, I believe in it, we are in marketing, but there are several CEOs who don't have a personal brand plan. There are several CEOs who have a few young men and women who manipulate their social media platforms for them without a clear brand strategy and without an understanding that it's vibrant CEO brands that drag up positive corporate brands. So what 2 or 3 pieces of advice will you give to CEOs in Africa in terms of building a resilient personal brand and also using digital approaches to do this?
Okay. I wrote some posts sometime on my LinkedIn whereby I say, as a CEO, in most cases, you find out most CEOs they were like those 5-year term contracts. You are lucky if you have to go, if you get a renewal and get 10 years. In most cases, you save the 5 years or you may not even finish the 5 years. You are checked out, you perform badly or some organizational politics, and you are out. One thing for sure, people connect with you when you are still at the position of power. So you building a personal brand or a vibrant brand does not only help the organization at the time where you are employed. It is important to have that online community which forms the basis of your online asset, your online brand equity. So think of it, you run a big corporate, you are doing well. Then the next thing, there's an announcement, your contract is terminated, or you are fired, or there's mutual separation, whatever the terms they will use. Building a brand when you are unemployed or when you are working at a less known organization, it's very difficult. So you need to take advantage of the time when you are at the helm, because people, they follow you. They somehow feel you are more useful to them than when you are fired. So it is important that they work hard and capitalize on the firm or the current firm they have while it's employed.
Interesting perspective. So would you recommend that the institution also keeps an eye on the CEO brand, or is it the CEO's job alone to manage their brand? What are your thoughts on that?
Right now, organizations actually have a budget for their CEOs to be managed. It's no secret. As a CEO, you can't do it yourself. You can't do it alone. Your job is not to run social media. Your job is to double the output. Your job is to increase the number of employees and so forth. So you can't be an expert again on managing your online brand. So the marketing team should actually have a budget whereby they need to brand their CEO so that he or she becomes the voice. Instead of spending so much in the traditional media or on paid ads, they can save by having their CEO as a mouthpiece. People can listen to the advice of a successful CEO than listening to the advice on the company page itself. I always talk of employees as influencers. There's an issue of influencer marketing. I'm sure is the subject of interest to me. Who is the best influencer? Should we pay the well-known influencers, or we can make our CEO, our executives, our employees, our own brand influencers? So I believe in the latter.
Okay. On the issue of brand influencers, we'll be right back with more of Titans and Trailblazers. Please stay tuned.
MGL Logistics and Supply is your trusted partner, providing seamless solutions for all your procurement needs. From sourcing products to managing imports and exports, we ensure smooth and efficient transactions every step of the way. Whether you require goods from across the globe or need assistance in exporting your products to international markets, we got you covered. General trading is at the heart of our expertise. We specialize in a wide range of products, catering to various industries and markets. As a trusted dealership in building materials, we provide high-quality products that meet the demands of our construction projects. Additionally, we act as manufacturers' representatives, connecting producers with distributors. Our expertise in logistics is the backbone of our operations. We plan and execute transportation and delivery of goods, ensuring they reach their destination on time and in optimal condition. MGO Logistics and Supply, guaranteed satisfaction.
I'm a branch manager. Of course, I accept only quality and affordable printed souvenirs for my promotional campaigns.
I'm the head of academic affairs of a very important institution in Ghana. Of course, we only deal with quality, reliable printing companies for our institution's printing materials. I'm talking about appointed time printing.
Appointed Time Printings. We take pride in our extensive print scope that transform your ideas into captivating visual masterpieces. We delve into the core objectives and vision of each print project. Precision printing is at the heart of our printing process as we meet your tight deadlines. Our rigorous inspection, color verification, and overall printing excellence are assured. 20 years of printing excellence. It's always a pleasure working with you to create a vibrant, dazzling printing experience that gives you a masterpiece. Appointed Time Printing, your world of quality and affordable printing.
Welcome back to Titans and Trailblazers. And before we left, I was asking my friend whether the CEO should struggle with their own personal teams to manage their brand or whether the corporate entity must take cognizance of it. And his argument was that when you are conceptualizing your 2026 corporate comms, corporate branding budget, there should be a portion for managing the CEO brand, because when the CEO brand rises, the corporate brand rises with it. When it falls, the corporate brand can fall with it. Isn't that your argument, sir? Before we continue.
That's correct. I'm glad you have brought in the other side, because we have been talking about the positive side. So it also happens that the CEO can bring down the corporate image if he is involved in some dubious or an ethical behavior.
You remember the example recently about the CEO was caught at a game in the US, cuddling HR directors. It became a global fiasco. So, yeah, you can continue.
That's the bad side of pushing the CEOs too high. They need to be ethically correct. They need to lead by example.
Okay.
Just that global company, we didn't know about it, but somehow after the scandal, we now know about it and they took action. But overall, we'll be looking at the positive side. We believe that being a CEO, you need to be on the right side of things. So there are more positives to it than the negatives. But of course, there is that possibility that they can taint black the corporate image.
Well, on the issue of ethical, then I want you to describe for us your own leadership style in what we can call a digital-first world. What is your own leadership style like, sir?
I am collaborative. I think that's one thing I do the most. I use the open door policy. We discuss, and I'm empowerment driven. The knowledge, I think my background, whereby I taught a lot statistics and mathematics back in Namibia, dealing with powerful people, politicians, CEOs, and it taught me to be adaptive, considerate, because what you think is common knowledge, definitely it's not. So understanding that people have got different learning capabilities, it is a key asset. It helps you how to address your team, understand their needs, their shortcomings, and their strength, keeping the door open for suggestions. No one knows it all. We're in the digital world. AI is there. You can't know all AI tools. So your team members can actually have used some of the most advanced tools that you have never heard of. So definitely I'm open, collaborative. Bring the ideas, let's evaluate, and let's move forward. The company should win.
Okay, so when you have complex challenges as a leader, what values anchor your leadership? Because when very difficult times come, a lot of leaders are tempted to take shortcuts and sometimes are tempted to contemplate unethical routes to fixing complex problems. So, when complex challenges come, what values anchor your leadership?
Integrity and empowerment. There are no shortcuts. I know the issue of moral test. They always come across. When you start a business, in most cases, the end game, you want to make the revenue. And that revenue is not a short-term objective. You start slow. If things go well, then you can burst into lots of revenue. So temptations may come, suggestions may come, whereby you are forced to consider some decisions which are not so favorable ethically. We remain resolute. We grow slowly. We don't take shortcuts. So we remain integral. And I tell my team that, guys, if it's a tender, it's a request for quotations, let's just do the best in responding to that, ticking the boxes on the requirements instead of having midnight meetings and use a brown envelope. No.
Yeah, I'm very happy you say brown envelopes. I think it's the same color across the continent. So please run away from brown envelopes. Yes. Okay. So
Yes.
how do you balance long-term vision with day-to-day execution?
So being digitally wired, I think my day-to-day becomes easy because of automation, because of the digital tools. We live what we talk about. So definitely you find out I'm not really an advocate of brick and mortar, that someone should come to work every day. So what are you doing? Everything. I don't have a problem with people working from wherever they are. So work can be done, automation can be done. There are tools whereby you submit and check what everyone is doing without necessarily meeting, so physically. So that brings out also the issue of micromanagement. It's erased. We simply do things from the portals and just log in and check the progress. But long term, the vision is there. So far, since we started, I think we have trained over 1,000 professionals. So the vision is there to grow, to make sure that people understand and adopt these digital skills. Every person actually almost needs digital skills, digital selling skills. So that the main goal that people should adopt, appreciate and understand. That's where our business also comes from. Once they appreciate that there is a digital marketing that exists, then we can then fine tune and help them, their businesses attain the desired objectives.
So can you share a defining moment when your leadership was most tested?
When we started 2 years ago, it was a huge decision driven by passion, no limited resources, and high expectations. And
Absolutely.
doubt was everywhere. Doubt was everywhere. Can we do it? Can we not do it? After
Absolutely.
running some successful campaigns while I was still employed, you don't just quit your job.
Yes.
So I was trying to run parallel. Then I tested the money and they say, no, man, the market is responding. Let me do it full time.
Yes. Okay.
So
Okay.
luckily, I got my package where I was working. I had some resources. They were not too little. They were not too much, but we were not really struggling. We had some backup, the ideas, the vision. The few guys I was with, we managed to work.
Fantastic. So, what do you see You know, in this digital economy too, sometimes we say technology is a leveler. So it doesn't matter whether we missed first industrial revolution or second industrial or all the revolutions that Africa seems to be have been a laggard with. Now we are saying that because of AI and digital tools, we can all run or even leapfrog. My question is, what do you see as the biggest opportunity for Africa in the digital economy?
The good thing about Africa, first, is the population. So I think about 1.2 billion. And we have got the fastest growing internet penetration from where we were and where we are. I think the growth rate is just big. Talk of mobile money, talk of just general internet penetration, talk of the appetite to innovate. Somehow we feel we have been behind for so many years. We have produced so many academics. And the narrative has changed, especially where I come from here in Zimbabwe. People go to universities and on the graduation day, they know very well that the next thing they need to do is not to use the certificate to get employed. They have to use the knowledge, not the paper. The knowledge they have attained, they should come up with something that solves problems. They should come up with something that can change their lives. People have believed that if you really want to do better financially or the inner you, self-actualization, it is attainable if perhaps you run your own business instead of seeking employment. So there are plenty of opportunities in Africa whereby we can have our own people owning banks, owning manufacturing plants. I think there is some guy here who is he has a car brand, manufacturing electric vehicles and so forth. So the opportunities, they are wide. You look left, right, south, north, everywhere you are, there are opportunities. If you go to the airport right now, there are a lot of people from the West who are coming to explore and grab the opportunities, which sometimes our own people will not see. They'll be busy preparing their passports to go to overseas. But for me, I say with the digital evolution, there are plenty of opportunities that can make so many millionaires in Africa.
Well, on the issue of millionaires then, if you take African entrepreneurs, what are some of the common mistakes they are making when it comes to digital marketing?
So there is the biggest misconception when it comes to corporates, when it comes to leaders. When you talk of digital marketing, they simply equate it to social media. And that social media, they simply refer to Facebook, which is not correct. So those are platforms. They have, of course, they have got the greatest following, the biggest number of monthly active users. So somehow by default, people think that's digital marketing. No. So there are many facets of digital marketing that actually help different businesses. Like we spoke of SEO, Google Ads, content marketing, influencer marketing, and then social media. So basically, people need to understand that it's a holistic approach that organizations should take to adapt so that their message can be heard, can reach people from different corners of the world.
So how can African entrepreneurs better use digital marketing to scale their businesses?
I think like we discussed earlier on, your vision might be to build, or it might be in mining, might be in hardware. I think let leaders not be ashamed that they are managed. I want to pick a leaf from soccer players. We have a lot of successful African soccer players who play in the European leagues or those highly competitive leagues. You need to be managed. Those who go broke or who don't go far, it's mostly their success rate depends on their agent. So as CEOs, their brands, it can be trusted in some agents' hands or some people who specialize in doing this. So for us to say, just like the president or all those people, if you look around in Africa, most African presidents, their social media account, they are lit, they've got so many followers. So do we really think that the president have got all the time to tweet, be on Facebook and so on LinkedIn and so forth? It's a team. So they actually leading by example that as a leader, you need a digital presence, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you should do it yourself. There are people who specialize in that and they can help you manage, launch, and scale your brand.
If you take governments in Africa, private sector, marketing and communication professionals, branding experts, how can we work together better to brand Africa better?
I think the government should provide policies that are friendly, that will allow the private sector to innovate, then let the marketers take the job out there. We have seen various governments, they have worked with non-influencers to promote their countries, especially from the Western side. You want the tourists to come through, but there is misconception. The way the world views Africa is somehow distorted. So it takes us, the current generation, to do the storytelling that shows that Africa is indeed our home. Africa is indeed a equally able continent. We have our resources. We have people who know. If you look globally, go to Google, there's a Zimbabwean guy leading there who is the vice president. So he's from here. This is Africa. So we've got plenty of African people who are doing things on the global stage. So it is a responsibility of every African to showcase that other side of Africa that is good. And where we need to improve, yes, we improve, but there are a lot of positive traction that we are doing.
So how do you see AI shaping the future of marketing, brand comms, customer engagement, customer experience in Africa?
So AI, it's I think especially in the tourism or in the hospitality industry, it's working. It helps customer experience. Just imagine if you visit your hotel, one brand hotel in Zimbabwe, then you go to South Africa, then your details are there. They know what you like, the room temperature, your preference, and so forth. So AI can get that data and have it shared, like the hotels, they can have that and know that our guest A, B, C, D, they like this. So that enhances customer experience. So at a broader level, AI is it makes work easy and beautiful, if I may say.
But isn't it also true that AI can be deployed for different parts of marketing? I mean, you can have tools for sales, tools for even telephone management. You can have chatbots, you can have virtual assistants, you can have tools for even managing the trade, distribution. So isn't there a need to also know which AI tool works for which part of marketing or customer experience? Isn't that important?
So knowing your needs, that needs analysis is very, very important. Like I said, AI tools, they are planned each and every day. There are people they are developing models and tools.
That's
so
true.
As a business, you need to find perhaps a strategist, someone who then do the needs assessment.
Correct.
What do we need? The AI agent, because
Correct.
those are called AI agents.
Correct.
So you need to find your needs and then build an AI agent that speaks specifically to your industry, to your needs. Otherwise, you'll be one of those people who say AI doesn't work.
So for you, in this fast-paced digital world, what does resilience mean to you?
Uh, I think keeping adapting to changes, that's a resilience. And if things don't work, don't give up.
Okay.
Sometimes you are overzealous, you overpromise, and sometimes the technologies they fail you. What do you do next? Do you pack, close the doors, and say, I'm looking for employment? No. So we pick ourselves up. If things don't go according to plan, we redo, we redo, we retry until it works. It becomes a lesson for us.
So, what legacy would you like to leave for the next generation of digital marketers and marketers in general? Because one day you'll be 60,
I
one day you'll be
want
70. Yes, go ahead.
I want my name to be remembered not only in Zimbabwe. I think I've done trainings in Botswana, Zambia, Namibia, a bit of South Africa. Now we're talking of Ghana and so forth. So the digital empowerment is actually at the heart, at the center of my heart. That the effect that we can bring to the people of Africa should be massive and huge. And these digital platforms have broken barriers and borders. I don't need to be physically in Accra to make any impact. I personally follow a number of people from Accra. I've got or from them. Can preach the same gospel from different parts of Africa about digital learning skills and online branding, personal branding. I think we can actually make a huge difference with little resources that we have.
Finally, how does digital help the Church of God to march forward?
Quite a number of times I get invitations from churches that come and teach our youngsters and perhaps also the older generation. But mostly the emphasis is on the young ones that, look, guys, we come to church, we want to feed our souls, but we want to eat physically on earth before we even depart. So considering that formal jobs, they've been on the decline, especially from where I am.
Okay.
People, the youth, they are encouraged to create their own.
Okay.
Because you have got the resources, you have gone to school, you have got the gadgets.
Okay.
In our generation, I started using a computer when I was at university. But the current generation, they use a computer or a mobile phone even from 2 years.
As
They
soon
know
as they
how
are
to use a
born.
tablet.
As soon as they are born,
Exactly. The
yes.
day they are born, they already know.
Okay.
So how best can then use those gadgets, the internet they have 24/7, to do something that can change the world, to do something that can bring money to their pockets. So the church leaders have now they understood the assignment and they want the church people to learn digital skills.
Thank you so much for joining us on this edition of Titans and Trailblazers, and it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you. Viewers, that's my friend from Zim. Thank you for joining us, and see you on the next edition of Titans and Trailblazers. Bye for now.
Titans and Trailblazers is brought to you by the MNC Group.
We're going to be talking about chronic kidney disease. I'm sure that a lot of you know about this. I mean, I've had friends who have died from that, and I'm sure that you also do. And it is something that is happening everywhere. You can't run away from it. You've heard plenty of people talk about it. We're going to be talking about that with Dr. Michael Yankee. He's going to tell us about the risks that are involved in that, and then also some of the labs that you're supposed to take so that you can figure out whether that is what you have, so that care can be taken quickly and then your health can be brought back to you. Dr. Yankee, once again, we're here.
Thank you, boss.
All right, so chronic kidney disease, talk to us about it.
So in very simple terms, when we say chronic kidney disease, what it means is that it's a decline in the function of your kidney. Now, first of all, you must understand that your kidney is what produces urine. How does it do that? It filters your blood and removes all the waste products from your blood, and then it comes out as urine. So the urine that you see contains a lot of waste. It's not supposed to be in your blood. Now, if you have a decrease in the function of your kidney, then that's when you say you have chronic kidney disease. Usually, if it goes on for more than 3 months, then we say you have chronic kidney disease. So basically, that's what it is.
Let's talk about some of the labs that you need to quickly take in case you start to see symptoms.
Okay, so for the labs, you have to link it to the risk factors. So there are 2 commonest risk factors of chronic kidney disease. And in our context, hypertension, diabetes. So you can see that most of the conditions, you have hypertension and diabetes. Hypertension, diabetes in our setting are the 2